Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Happy Monday. I didn't even change the bottom ticker here. We've got 3 minutes, but Billy's going to be late for this presser at 11:45. I got hats. I'm hoping for a miracle here, okay? I've got these thingies, but I don't think any of it's going to be needed. I can't believe it. I'm in absolute shambles here. We're going to wait until whatever presser comes or whatever happens. We'll talk about that. This is a rarity. Usually we don't do live these things, but I felt like this one was a special occasion. This one was a little bit different. Needed us to be here. So I got champagne. I had the wife go to, I was hoping for a big time, woo, fire me up. Let's get boogity. You know what I'm saying? Like Lane Kiffin comes out, right? Dial it up, ready to go. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm concerned. 11:45, I would imagine there might be, some noise or something here. Heard a lot of things last night. Heard a lot of things. I'm concerned with where the structure of things are at right now. An article just dropped from Jesse Simmons, I believe, on 3, absolutely obliterating the UAA, basically just saying what we've been kind of yelling from the mountaintops, that it's outaged, it's over, it's done with, it needs to be completely fixed. And I feel like there's a pissing contest going on right now. My concern is that, look, I think we can all agree that Billy's going to be gone. It's just a matter of if or a matter of when now. My concern, though, is what's going to happen with the next coaching staff. Now, there was confirmation on the Shane Matthews podcast this morning that he brought up that, hey, they're not going to fire Billy right now because they don't want Scott to be the next guy that hires. And he said, look, he's going to have nothing to do with the next coach. The boosters are going to be all in when it comes to the next coach. This was out of Shane Matthews' mouth, former quarterback for the Florida Gators, on his show this morning. So obviously he has his own connections, people that he speaks to as well. That's a lot that I've been hearing. But again, you've got to think about, you've got these people at the UAA who are in full-blown control that have sat in these chairs for so long that have their own ego. And hopefully, we can Auburn-esque this thing and bulldoze the UAA and handle business. Again, Jeremy Foley was not a part of hiring Urban Meyer. That was the collective. So okay, we got confirmation that Billy's car is here from our boots on the ground. I'm reading everything, so that's depressing. Okay, number one. So Billy's still there. Okay, so looks like we may have been misinformed. The people, there's a lot of things flying around right now. This is a very fluid situation. And this is why you kind of just stay back and relax. So either way, it looks like we're gonna have a fun presser. Given the things that were released over the last 48 hours, whether it was there was a board meeting, the ESPN reports that there was a collective buyout, there was a collection of funds to buy out Billy Napier. I don't know what the writers are going to do, how they're going to handle their business here. It's going to be interesting. Billy's had a day to sleep on it. He's had a couple of days to figure it out. I'm probably not going to need it, but I appreciate it anyways. The wife just brought in the champagne. That's we are ready, boys. I had to just save it for another day. Now, look, I do want to talk about, because obviously I'm waiting for his presser. Look, he's notoriously late. If there's one he's going to be late on, you'd imagine it would be this one. I do have Cam here, so we'll see what's going on. And again, I know some people are going to yell and say, look, I see the chat already that the boosters should not be involved with hiring. At this point, I don't think anybody has the answer. We're all going to be yelling and screaming unless it's one person. Will Greer had to take the podium, so that's true. Will Greer had to have his goodbye spiel either. Usually coaches don't do that, but I agree. Ooh, excuse me. Probably his least spins. There is obviously question to begin. A lot of people are like, hey, a thought that was brought up last night is a transfer portal. right? Because if Napier were to be let go, the portal would open for 30 days. And so there was some concern of like, well, we don't want to lose anybody. My thought process on that is if he were to be fired today and there's 30 days for these guys to enter into the transfer portal, keep in mind those guys leave, they can't play. So they're going to sit out for the rest of the year. And that is a thought to think about. And so they kind of burn a year. My thought process is like, look, if you're going to quit now, you weren't going to be here in December anyways. So, and I'm not like hating on the kid for doing that. I understand that. But if you're not going to sit around and wait and play a year here because you're not going to be playing anywhere and go elsewhere and because you're that fed up with the program, then you weren't going to stay regardless. So that to me shouldn't be an issue. That is the reason. There is a thought though, again, if you, the four games, right, how the red shirt works. So because these guys could leave, right, which then you're more inclined to leave if you can, like for Eugene Wilson, right, didn't play last game. I believe that he didn't play for personal reasons. I'm not saying he wasn't hurt, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, I ain't playing this shit. I'm saving my season. Red shirts this year, right, goes elsewhere. He's got 3 more seasons somewhere else. I hate to think like that, but I mean, you've got to think like nowadays with how the world works, everything's going to be a business decision, and it's like I can make this decision that's best for me. Why wouldn't I? So we'll see how that plays out. Look, DJ Lagway is another one. There's just so many moving pieces and parts to this thing, and maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong way, but I don't know. I don't think Lagway will leave, but I don't know. Strickland is at the presser. Okay. We might have something here, boys. The presser hasn't started yet. I've got it pulled up here. Okay, I've got it pulled up. All right. Here we go. Okay. I'm not freaking out. We got 740 strong. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, welcome to the channel. Look, this thing is moving as much as quick as it can, and I'm trying to stay. Okay. I do have confirmation he's not saying goodbye. Oh, golly. Well, back to sad again. Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Once it comes on, I'm gonna play it, but it's not live. I've got YouTube pulled up right here. We're gonna go to it as soon as it's live. Andrew, you don't have to need the link. The presser is gonna be here, boys and girls. So we're gonna watch this thing together. We're gonna scream at the TV together. This is gonna be a unity thing. We're gonna hand in hand here, boys. Okay, hand in hand here on how we handle this, and how we rock and roll here. I got to leave for class in 10 minutes. We'll go on the road, Sam. Go on the road. Bring us on the road. Toke, you're going to be late for class. Tell him it's Billy's fault. He made you late. I am waiting to see. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of reasons and excuses of why they wouldn't fire him. I just don't. Again, I'm so fed up with it. I don't. Maybe he's got blackmail on these guys that I don't know about. I don't know. I'm waiting right now. I'm messaging Boots on the ground to see what's up. It is interesting to see that Scott is there though. Maybe Scott's there to help him protect him. $10. Zira says we really punted from A&M's 35-yard line. I'm dead, bro. Plus we got Taylor Sprinto, a walk-on, getting meaningful snaps over blue chip guys like Mizell and Hawkins. Someone, they're probably doing the Hunger Games style to see who keeps their job. I volunteer. I'm in shambles right now. Okay, Billy's not there yet. I just got confirmation from Cam Parker. Billy is not at the presser yet. So, let me see. Let me ask him if there's anything else. Boy, this is oh man. I mean, if we lose to Mississippi State, I mean, look, people say, hey, if we lose, this shouldn't be an if anymore. Like, what more do you need to see? Like, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't understand. So Strickland is outside the presser right now. First time I've seen him near a weekly presser in a while. You think he's gonna meet him at the job site? Like, hey, it's been real, but I'm taking over this one. Like, this could be wild, bro. Outside, like. I mean, this is insane here, boys. You're not getting this anywhere else right now. 900 strong, almost 1,000 strong here. My heart's racing too, Chase. I'm going through it right now. He's not there, guys. Billy is not at the presser. Once the presser is live, we will be live with him. All right. Hopefully, champagne popping bottles. This little guy. What is this thing called? What is this thing called? I couldn't tell you. He's always late, bro. It's not traffic, Professor. He was there. You know what's funny is Cam could not find parking and said, I see Billy's car, but I can't find parking. Found parking and still made it before him. Oh. Jeff Lebby. Jeff Lebby's getting slaughtered already at Mississippi State. Three games in. Boys, we got 1,000 strong. Let's smash the like button. Let's let YouTube know that we're having a good time. At least for this little bit. You know what I mean? At least for this little bit. All right, Cam. I'm still messaging Cam, boys. I'm trying to just let me know when he's there. All right, I just told Cam to let me know. Just say hi when Billy walks in. I remember when they would before the Egger thing, they would a kazoo. Thank you, Derek. Oh man, what they would have the live ready. Right? Like it would be set up and they would wait for Billy to walk in. That's where the hot mic came from. I mean, could you imagine? You could hear a pin drop in there right now. You know what I mean? It really, maybe I'm being over the top here because I'm waiting and my stomach's twirling right now for this moment. But how are you consistently late for these meetings? Like this, for somebody who claims such organization, my disorganized ass has this show set at 8:35 every Wednesday, and we've been maybe late in the 3 years, maybe twice, and a lot of the times, got information here. A lot of the times it's because if we have a guest on, there's technical difficulties. It's rare that it's because I'm just screwing around. And that's not a shot towards the person calling in. Sometimes we have issues, and it could be on my end. But my thing is, like, this is, like, this is coming every single day. Like, this isn't new. And I'm just bitching to bitch at this point. But it's crazy to me, right? Or am I being a little dramatic? Am I being ridiculous here? We got super chat for QB, $2. My kids call those tutors. I like tutors a lot better than kazoo. Hey, boys, I got tutors in case of that. I love that. This is why kids are so awesome. Tutors? Come on, baby. All right. Cam just said that Scott Strickland is outside the doors. Not in the room. Outside the doors. So where the presser is, obviously it's in a room. There's doors. You walk into the room. He's outside of those doors. Okay? I don't want to speculate anything considering how the last 2 days have gone, but still, very interesting. He didn't say all this. He just says, I'm not speculating. He's just kind of weird given the circumstances that have unfolded, right? I think it would be crazy to think, like, that's just crazy to me. That Scott shows up. Maybe he's giving him a pep talk beforehand. I mean, we might be here for a while, boys. I don't know. We got 1,100 strong. We're waiting for Billy Napier to show up. I got butterflies. You know what I mean? Now, I do want to preface this, okay? I think what we do... What did she say? Dramatic? Should I be being dramatic? Dramatic. It might be nonstop phone calls right up to the presser. So, KDB, this one I understand being late to, but every single presser, right? Every single one he's late. Every single one. Monday, Wednesday. After the game, he's not because he's just walking right in. But maybe I'm being a little dramatic. I don't know. This one seems extra late, though. This one does seem a little bit extra late. I mean, it's saying to get mad because not spelling the... Yeah, this is weird, boys. This is an interesting one here on how this thing's unfolding. So I do want to clarify this, though, because obviously we have this excitement of like, okay, finally we're past this era. But it's like any breakup, right? We're going to have this feeling of like, okay, good. It's done and over with. The toxicity's out of the house. We have our place to ourselves again. But then there's going to be that sense of loneliness. We've got to finish out this season. It's probably going to be an ugly one. It's going to be an atrocious one. And then we're going to be in this weird place of who's going to be the next head coach. So we got to keep in mind that right now we're going to ride this high, but there's going to follow a lull. That's going to be fun to watch. But be not fun to watch, but be interesting to handle. I will say that we'll be here. We'll all be together. We'll be riding this thing out as one. But by golly, this is a crazy one. We're 12 minutes past when Billy was supposed to go live, almost 1,300 strong in here, boys and girls. Another super chat from Tyler Bohannon. $5. Billy gets this week and gets fired on Sunday going into the off week. Just my opinion. And look, I think logistically, right, that makes sense. It's like, why not just go, hey, just take us to Mississippi State, go do whatever you want to do, and then we're gonna use 2 weeks. I think it's better to do it now, right? And you give that next guy 2 weeks. 2 weeks to transition. That's my thought. For me, the emotional side, it's like, why wait any longer, right? That's where my head's at with it. But we'll see. If you guys are just joining the show, I probably wondering what the hell's going on. We are waiting for Billy Napier's presser, which was set to go live about 13 minutes ago and has yet to go live. If you are just joining, Scott Strickland, this is confirmed by somebody in the building, boots on the ground, is outside of the presser. What is he doing outside of the presser? Those things I don't know. But he's outside the door waiting. So do with that with what you will, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say that he's there to fight. That seems crazy. That seems Scott is all about his image, all about doing things the right way. That would be wild, right? If he's sitting there to be like, yo, hey, we had a good run, all right? We did what we wanted to do. We burned this bitch to the ground, but you got to go. I don't think Scott's going to do that. But why is he also out there? Is he out there to make him feel good? You know what I mean? To hug him before he walks in? That seems weird too. Like I'm spitting. My head is I'm losing it right now on what all this could mean. We are at 12 o'clock, 15 minutes late now. 15 minutes late of when he should be here. So Billy, somebody said Billy's watching the show. Like, could you imagine, bro? Billy's like, this son of a bitch. He's like, let's keep him waiting. Let's see how long he can dance. You know what's funny, real quick? Can we do a funny story while we wait, boys? 1,500 strong. I tweeted out. Let me pull up my tweet while we wait here. Again, I got Cam pulled up in case if anything happens, I will stop my stream mid. Like, I'll stop whatever I'm doing. So I posted this tweet here, completely joking on Saturday. I thought for sure, like, this was going to be a funny one. I thought this was kind of like a known picture. Like, I didn't think anything of it. And I had gone live already twice. I had been very clear that I wasn't in Gainesville. I thought I made that clear anyways. And I tweeted this and I said, I'm in, boys. Billy ain't ready for this. This was after the loss to Texas A&M on Saturday. That tweet got over almost 60,000 views because people actually thought that I was in there. And I felt bad, but then I laughed because I was like, I imagine the Florida staff seeing that tweet and people going, oh, how'd he get in? Like, they're running around, right, looking for my ass, going, where is this goober? Where is this ginger-beard, big bushy eyebrows kid at? He's easy to spot. He says he's here. Like, could you imagine they're trying to hold off Billy? Like, hold on, we haven't found him. He said he's here. He took a picture. Like, that was going through my head. Like, I can only imagine. And you think, like, oh, Sean, there's no way they're watching you. Trust me. I have posted tweets and been hit up by Billy's right-hand man to delete the tweet. So I know they've seen my tweets. That's my point of, like, they probably saw it or got a little worried, which that made my day. I felt bad for the people that actually thought I was there. I was like, I overshot my shot with this tweet. It was pretty funny, though. I mean, sorry for the ones that I misled, but it was funny. All right, we're still waiting. Let me go ahead and message Cam here. I'm buzzing right now, buzz. I can't. Okay, here we go. Cam just said, at the presser now, still waiting on Billy. Strickland is in the building, currently outside the press room right now. I don't want to speculate anything, but there's the first time I've seen him at a non-game press conference in a little bit. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but it's been that type of weekend and that type of Monday. So, nope, still waiting. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. And I don't know. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that, Jared. He's not there anymore. He doesn't work there anymore. But yeah, it was the I'll tell you what it was. It was remember when Armstrong did the motion, jerk off motion? I shared that like immediately after it happened, and they're like, "Hey, can you take that down?" Like it wasn't going to travel. And to be respectful for the organization and the team, yeah, man, no problemo. But I loved it. I didn't think it was a bad thing, but they asked me to take it down, and I was like, yeah, rightfully so. Looking back, I probably should have just said F it, but trying to be respectful of the program, trying to be, cross my T's and dot my I's, but it didn't really do me any favor. 1,000, almost 1,600 people in here. This could be an iconic day for Florida football. The fact that we still have no Billy Napier is absolutely insane. Maybe he's run out the back door driving away. I don't know. I don't know. This is insane. I don't even know how to handle this. Ben, if you guys are all wondering, we are going to look. I'll show you the screen right now. I've got it pulled up. What are you looking for? Oh, when he goes live, we'll have it. But we are currently not live. We're not live yet. I don't know yet. I might need it. No, you can leave it. We might be good. I told the wife to leave the champagne. We might be in business, boys. I don't know. This is something I've never seen before. The fact that there's 1,600 strong, almost 300 likes is just crazy enough to me. Let's see here. Zahara says $5. Someone said Billy is watching this live stream with her. That shit cheeses me out, bro. We've been saying Billy watches the show. Imagine some of the players watching. They're like, yo, we trying to figure out what the hell's going on too, baby. What's up with it? What are we doing? This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. I don't know. I got my tutor here. Ready? If we need it. Kid's sleeping, so I don't know how loud I'll be able to blow on that. But A.M. Gnome Pack says $5. Strickland fires Billy Napier, Quas Fader music, and walks in head ball coach. Other note, first floor game this weekend, and Stark might not have a coach. Damn, what the hell a first game to go to? I might check. You guys hear that? My chest, my heart's beating out of my chest right now, bro. I'm just like, this is crazy. We're like 20 minutes overdue. This is by far the longest that he's been late. I'm literally lost for words of what's happening right now. I don't. This is crazy to me. Billy's in the back counting his check. I'll be right there, Scott. 1,000,001, 1,000,002. Oh boy. I'm gonna write camera quick. What is happening? This is crazy to me. This is absolutely crazy to me. Again. Wait. Oh boy. What happens if he walks up there, boys? The Scott thing is weird. Because there's three things that could happen, right? One, he tells him to go and that's it, and then we're celebrating. Two, he just tells him good luck, which is weird. Three, he's like, hey, the end is coming near. Just need you to hold on for a couple more weeks, which would also be weird, right? Like I just don't see. There's only one reliable option of why you're there, unless you're just really there to support your boy and Billy Napier. I'm literally lost for words of what's. I can't comprehend it. Any thoughts on why he's there? Cole says, still waiting in physics, sitting and waiting in physics class, waiting for the news. It's a bit of an eerie feeling. It's a really weird feeling. Really weird feeling. Even given the fact of how late he is, right? He doesn't want to answer media questions. I'm getting conflicting reports that it could be at a later date, again, of him being let go. But again, that just seems weird, right? There's so many moving pieces I don't think anybody knows right now, and I think Strickland being there is where it's weird, right? That's the crazy thing. $10 from Jesse Rowland says it's frustrating to see how little energy and emotion his team has as a whole, including staff. I pray we can get back to the promised land soon. Love the show, and go Gators as always. Happy Monday, Jesse. Love you, man. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you. Almost 1,900 strong on a Monday afternoon is absolutely incredible. We never would have thought we'd be here, but here we are. $2. Billy still can't manage the clock. You know, I just this irritates me. I feel like at this point I don't think I'm being dramatic anymore. Like this is, but it's past. Okay. All the reporters have sat down. UF getting cameras and mic ready. Should start soon. Okay. So that's what I just got from Cam. So it sounds like it should start. That doesn't mean that Billy's walking out yet, but that's where we're at. $5 from Jamari Ellis says he's in the locker room pre-cleaning his locker. Only good thing he'll do in the pre-category L preseason. That is funny. He'll come out and goes, hey guys, you guys should check out this locker room. This thing is impeccable. I have the champagne to celebrate here, but I might just drink it in sorrows. You know what I mean? Like that's where we might be at. There is 2,200 people in here waiting for the Billy Napier press conference, and it's going to be incredible when this thing goes down. We're going to watch it all together as a big family here. And maybe we drink on a Monday afternoon. I don't know. You know, I try to be a good boy, but here we are. Shark Humper, $5 says, my question is why? Why not fire Billy Ballsack now? You might be able to keep kids from transferring if you have them buy into a new coach. That's my thing is like, give yourself the most time to process this, to put it out there, to market for a new coach. I don't look the idea of kids possibly leaving. Like if you're going to keep them for 4 days to like burn their red shirts to screw them over, I don't like that either. Again, a kid can leave at the end of the season. If they're wanting to leave right now and basically not play, they hate it here that much, and there's nothing that we could possibly do to preserve them. And it sucks, but that is what it is. That's our fault for allowing it to get to that point, not their fault. $2, $8 to throttle me like that, bro. I'm a busy man. I got a lot going on, all right? Got to keep the tabs fired up. Look, Cody used to give me flack, and then when he started doing all the editing and doing the show for High Tops Recruiting, he's like, I see why, bro. You're going 100 miles a minute, and you got to leave those tabs open. Drew King, $2, might be meeting with the team first. Mm-hmm. Again, you had time to meet with him yesterday. You could have met with him before. Billy's getting a raise. I love it. Oh, man, the chat's flowing. I'm trying to read some of your comments here. I'm sorry, guys. It's going by so fast. My mom is watching. It's our first time doing anything together. What's up, Mom, Mr. Nobody? See you later tonight, baby. Y'all like the stream, Jacob. Smash the like button. Let's get to, bro, there's 2,200 people in here. If we can, do you think we can get 1,000 likes? That'd be nuts. I don't think a video's ever hit 1,000 likes on this channel. Maybe one. I just refreshed, nothing else. Cam just said this is getting annoying. Maybe Billy said I'll just hold them out. I'll just wait till they start leaving, then I'll go up there. Mudkip said, my professor's Billy Napier. He said he's been real quiet the last couple of days. I'd imagine. I wouldn't probably leave my house either. At work, shaking. I feel like what's going to happen, dude, this is what's going to happen. This guy is going to come out and hit us with the same shit that he hits us with every week. All right, boys, say he goes, are you not? I hope he hits us with the United Entertained. I mean, my question would be like, why are you always so late, Billy? I'm in shambles right now. I'm talking in circles. I know that. $2 from Gator Believer says, we 2K strong. What's your best numbers ever? I had these numbers are insane. I think these are the most legitimate numbers we had. I had 8,000 strong one time when Travis Hunter was leaving from Jackson State to Colorado. I went live because I thought he was going to announce his commitment to see where he was going to go. He never did. But I sat there for 30 minutes with 8,000 people, and we just refreshed his YouTube page. It was nuts. It was nuts. This is a second though. This is absolutely second. We had a lot on signing day too. That day was nuts as well too. All right, we just refreshed it again, boys. There's still nothing. So, boys and girls, Billy's here taking the podium. Cam Parker just said that. Billy's here taking the podium. All right. Gonna refresh it. It should be live here in just a minute. We'll just keep refreshing until he's here. Live on X? Should be live here then.
Positions at times. And then, I think it's one thing to know, but we also have to go apply. And I think that's kind of where we're at from a player perspective. And I think as teachers, we have to take a good look in the mirror of our weekly process. And I do think there's no excuses. There's no place for blame. I think responsibility, accountability is the only option here. So the most important thing, and I told the players after the game Saturday, is that they stick together. I think their camaraderie, their relationships as teammates, this will pass, and then they're going to have these relationships 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And it's important that they stick together and they do their part as teammates. I do think that we can't control what is said on the outside or done on the outside. We can control what is said within the walls. When we show up to work every day in this building, our words, our attitude, our actions, the way we treat people, the way that we interact with each other as teammates, and then the intensity and the urgency and the approach to the work is the most important part. So, look, we're getting ready to transition here into Mississippi State game. I do think Jeff Levy's a heck of a coach, first-year head coach, but he's had a great success as an offensive coordinator. I've known Jeff for a long time. This is a first road game, first SEC road game, and we would say regardless of the opponent or who you are in this league, when you go play on the road, you have to anticipate that it will be very challenging. It's a tough place to play. I've been to Starkville many times, and certainly can be a challenge there. An 11 a.m. Central kick will contribute as well. They do have offensively the tempo is something that we'll have to try to simulate this week. And there's a ton of variables on defense.
What are you
front
talking
pressure
about, dude?
coverage.
Shut up.
And then good team speed,
Holy
and that's
shit,
always
dude.
a recipe for some challenges when it comes to special teams and matchups there. So singular focus on the work. I do think that ton of distractions and noise. We all anticipate and understand that. I do think it's work is extremely hard, recover, show up, work extremely hard, recover. What is the next opportunity to improve and really take the right attitude towards that? Total focus on the next opportunity to improve. Now to start today, obviously we'll put the game to bed, and then when we walk out of that team meeting room and go to practice today, I think it's a singular focused on the next challenge, and that's Mississippi State. What questions do we have here?
Billy, have there been any discussions or you've been told anything about your future?
No, none.
Do you feel like there's still a path to earn a fourth season if the team can get it together and
Yeah, 100%.
get on a roll?
100%.
Were you given any assurances like when you got here, because it's a 7-year deal, and
Right.
you've talked a lot about the process, the rebuild, the challenges of it, that you were going to be given X amount of time to do this?
Yeah, I mean, these are all hypothetical scenarios, I think for me, I'm going to try to model what I would expect from our players, okay? And some of those things I just talked about, I think that's the whole key, is that as a staff and throughout the organization, we have to do our part to model what we would expect from the players and want from the players. And that, for me, is total focus on the next opportunity.
So he just said he hasn't been spoken to about his future
So,
here at Florida.
we're
There's
going to
no
put the game to
possible
bed
way that could
today
be true.
from Saturday, and then it's about doing my absolute best
be
to
sick.
prepare the team to play next Saturday. And we can't live in the shoulda, coulda, woulda, if, then, all that. I think ultimately we got an obligation to the players and our leadership at the university to do our best to play well this week. That's all we can control. Anything else is a waste of time, and look, I think it's that way regardless. We all been doing this for a long time. The ability to hit the reset button sometimes you're trying to ignore the hype or the praise and then sometimes you fall flat on your face and you're trying to. So your approach with the players, the right mix of accountability and ownership. I think it's critical that we don't point fingers and that we accept some responsibility and point out where there needs to be accountability. I think that's the key, especially with young people in the world that they live in currently.
I hear what you're saying in terms of the outside noise, and a lot of times it doesn't matter, but it can matter in terms of recruiting. What's your message to recruits about where things are right now and where they're going?
Well, there's a lot of football left to play.
Oh my God!
And nothing will affect that more than the next game we play, right? So let's get ready to go play Mississippi State on Saturday.
What about, going on the road, first road game, you alluded to it, there's some challenges there, but can it have a galvanizing effect given the adversity, or how do you view that aspect of this week?
Yeah, no, I just think in general, regardless of what team you are in this league or what opponent you're playing, when it's your first road SEC game, regardless of who it is and where it is, you got to be ready to go because there's a little bit different intensity to that. You're going into enemy territory and you got to be ready.
You talk about looking in the mirror and maybe some of that self-reflection. Do you think you've done a good enough job bringing in defensive help? I mean, certainly you look on the offensive side of the ball, Montrell, Osiris, you've done fantastic
Sure.
with receivers, with Pearsall, DK, and Badger, the position you know really well. The other side of the ball just doesn't look like it's gotten the fixes that it's needed.
Right. Well, I think that time will tell. Ultimately, I think this is a group that gained some experience last year.
Oh my God!
I do think
you
that
have to be kidding.
obviously we're frustrated with the production to this point, but I do think there's a lot of football left to play, and that's where we have to have the right combination of player accountability, and then as coaches we have to take some responsibility as well, and we have to adjust. I think if we continue to do the same things, then I think that would not be the smartest path. So I think as a defensive staff, I know there's direction there, there's ownership there, and just a little bit different approach, tweak things. I think it's critical in times like these that you listen to the players a little bit. I think you got to give them some ownership. It's important that they believe in what's happening and what's taking place, and painting an objective picture for them. I think it's really important. So knowing that there's a lot of subjective out there, how do we create an objective environment where we can be truthful? I think that's the whole key. And then I think you'd be surprised how aware they are. They know when they've messed up. They know when they're in a tough spot. They know when the coaches
I'm
can do
not
better.
surprised.
So
I am surprised. I'm
I think a
surprised how
combination of all
shitty the
that's the
team
most
looks. That's where I'm
important
surprised at. What are you talking about?
When you evaluated on the tape, how much of it was physicality, communication, or what did you see in terms of the breakdown?
Yeah,
like
no,
he's trolling
I
us.
do think that A&M's front is
We're
good.
being
I
trolled.
think in particular, one of the edge players, one of the inside players are elite next
I have a
level
lot to
type
say.
players.
I'm trying to. Hopefully, somebody
We
asks. a
blocked them
question.
well at
He's not
times.
saying
We
anything
didn't
important right
block
now,
them
so I
well
don't
at
care that I'm
times. I
talking
think
over
some
him.
of
He's
it
not
is
saying anything with
fundamentals,
any value. Just
techniques.
shut
I
up.
think
Just
it's
shut up. Just
footwork,
shut up.
it's hat position, it's hand placement. But there's also just some personnel things that we can help. And I think we got to pick from the right stuff. I think that's an important part of developing the identity of your offense. Is like, what do you do well? And we just didn't really have a lot of rhythm in the first half. I think we had 12 plays outside of that last possession. So 4, 5, and 6 play possessions, something like that. So I think we can do better.
No shit.
And I think that players would tell you that there's opportunities for them to do
You
better
think?
as well.
What are the ones that quit and didn't want to play on
About
Saturday?
the
What those
defensive
players?
performance, where were the breakdowns? What were kind of the things that stood out to you the most?
Well, I thought we
Somebody
lacked
give Edgar
gap
the mic back.
integrity at times. I thought that we lost the edges at times, both in the run game and in the rush game relative to the passing. I do think that obviously the backup quarterback, his skill set, the combination of runs that we got in the game were challenging. But overall, much of what I described earlier, mental errors, fundamental technique issues, some missed tackles. And then I do think there's some decision-making there, relative to my assignment. Some routine plays, that are frustrating, but also I think a combination of things that we could have done better as a staff to help them.
Does the lack of continuity on this year three different defensive play callers, does that play into that? And I know it's a developmental game, but fundamentally, shouldn't you be more sound going into week 3, going into week 4?
Yeah, no, I think it's the same system, same verbiage. We have had 3 different play callers, but ultimately, you're recycling players too, right, in terms of experience. You start in January, you begin with the ending in mind, you're putting a system together. There's no question that the things you're describing there are the frustrating things to me, because I've been a part of
Recycling players.
Teams and staffs that we
Everybody
play
recycles
really
players.
sound fundamental
They don't
football.
look like
And I
complete
think
or
at times
dog shit.
We're not doing that. Now, we do it really well at times as well. So I think
When? Where was I?
consistency is what we're pursuing here. But I agree.
Do you guys
with
play a
what you're
game that I
saying.
wasn't invited to?
From Monday to Friday in practice, and then it doesn't show up Saturday?
There's some of that. There is some of that, and I would say players voice that as well. So again, it's one thing to know; it's another thing to apply. Right? That's not just life. I think that applies to about everything that we do.
I
But in football,
highly
it's the case
doubt.
as well, right? You have to go.
But he walks in there and the players are like, yeah, we
execute,
still got this, Billy. Like, there's
in
no
the
shot
moment.
these guys are bought in,
You
right?
have to go apply what you've learned. You have to go, and I think that's part of. There's a combination of things here from a responsibility, accountability standpoint.
You've had to rely on the, transfer portal for some offensive line additions, and obviously got an elite one in year 1 in Osiris, but just curious about, maybe some of the challenges in that and building continuity when you're having to plug in guys from different schools versus kind of building it from the ground up and having young guys together.
Yeah, I think ultimately it was one of the initiatives when we first got here was we needed to get better on both lines of scrimmages. We've done that with a combination of portal players and high school players. We understand, I think anybody that's coached this league would tell you, to get to where you want to go, you've got to do a really good job on both lines of scrimmages relative to personnel, but also just in structure and how you teach, how you coach. So, but you're right. That is one of the challenges that we all face in this profession, right? We had an incredible group at the previous stop, right? Several NFL players, right? Joe Moore finalists. It was a strength for us. We would like to get to that place, I do think some of the players that we've added have played relatively well at times. I think we had issues at certain positions. We've struggled a little bit, but overall, that's part of the battle in college football at the elite level, no question about it.
How do you handle the quarterback position this week, and what type of going on the road? What type of dynamic does that add to it?
Yeah. Well, I would say that we're committed to playing both players.
Why?
And I think, obviously, the impressive thing to me.
I don't care about that. Why Edgar started it off exactly where it needed to go. Don't ask any questions about the future. Don't ask any questions about production. Nobody cares. I want just keep hammering home the future questions. Like, I don't know. I just
shoulder, and I think that worked. But the humility of both of these guys, the confidence of both these guys, and then the working relationship that they've had since the first day. So both have character, both understand the dynamic. I think both of them can help our team.
Why is Scott there?
And certainly it was great to have Graham back from injury, and I thought he played well for the most part. So one of the keys is that we have to play well around both these guys, and we have to have some form of balance. I think that's the whole key. We've got to play efficient on first and second down, stay out of these passing downs, and then, we have to have some balance.
What did you learn about rotating them for the first time in a game, how the offense responded to them, and then could you see that rotation maybe changed based off of just going with the guy with the hot hand, or if you feel like you need a spark?
Yeah, I think that some of it is open-ended, you know, and they know that. But ultimately, my expectation is they both prepare well, they both practice well, and they both play lights out when given a chance, right? So, and I think we know when it's, you know, sometimes on offense, you know, we got a crowd in there watching the game. They don't know what, you know, sometimes it's, hey, it's not the quarterback's fault, or it is the quarterback's fault, right? So we know, and I'm able to make decisions based off of that. If they're not doing what they're supposed to do,
You don't fucking
then
know.
they can stand beside me.
If you knew, we wouldn't be dog shit.
But for the most part, I don't.
The
necessarily
crowd's
think we have that
90,000 people are failing an eye test, Billy. Yeah, dude, we don't have a clue. Another shot at another shot at the crowd. Love that. At least it wasn't the guy in the basement. That guy's still in shambles.
Well, I think the approach we've taken kind of gets DJ involved early, and then we kind of leave it open-ended after that. That's kind of the commitment there. So both halves are that way.
Basically, we
That's
don't have a clue what we're
we've
doing. We're
decided to
just
do.
figuring it out as we go, like we are.
A guy who had some plays he'd like to have back, but what's your philosophy with guys who have a tough day, throw them back out there and let them try again, or maybe take them and let them take a back seat for a little bit and watch it, and then?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think probably depends on what we've observed from that player. You know, his attitude, his work ethic, his intent. You know, where is he? How is he accepting coaching? You know, what type of teammate is he? And then what type of depth do we have at the position? You know, sometimes you got no choice but to put the guy back out there. But I think every position is a little bit different. You know what I mean? But what I'm describing is ultimately the way I would say sometimes a guy, we've probably figured that out before we got to the game, if that makes sense, you know. So it's part of coaching, part of teaching is trying to get the player ready, you know, and I think that's where ultimately we got to take a good look in the mirror. You know, we got to get them more prepared to play.
You mentioned importance of keeping the noise out. There's so much of it. Is it realistic to think it won't permeate? How do you manage that?
It's never going to go away.
I'm live, bro.
It's either going to be because, you know, they love you if you win and they hate you if you lose, right? So it doesn't matter if we were at Buchholz High School right down the road, you know. I mean,
Well, Buchholz is playing better than we are,
We have
Billy.
to have some type of internal standard and objectiveness to what we do, right? It's got to be just as frustrating, you know, if not more, right? I would say. I mean, I have personal objectives. I have expectations.
I'm glad.
You know,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
That's ultimately the way I view it. Like it's the same for me, you know. So I looked. I don't think there's anything that's more motivating to me than proving it, you know.
Cool.
And making people proud. You know, I
Well, you're
think
good.
that's the key.
You're crushing
So
it.
The more people you meet that have, you listen and you hear the impact this place made on them. You listen to the stories, right? This place has been in, you know, it's got great
think he's
history and
sick?
tradition. You want to get it back there, right? It's one of the reasons.
Have you ever
take
had a
the job
conversation
and
with somebody? It's like
accept the
we're
challenge.
not
So,
on the same planet.
I mean, for me,
You know what I mean? You know what I'm
outside
talking
of
about.
getting a
Where
lot
it's
of
just like
text messages from former players and coaches,
You have to
you
just
work
walk
with and
away?
friends.
that's where we're at. We
It's
just
next game, you know, and what can we do to come up with solutions?
There is a buy-in aspect of the football as well. I mean, and the players publicly.
Bro,
support
he
you on
sounds
Saturday.
delusional. Dude, this
What's
is
your
crazy.
temperature
Yeah,
on
man.
them
Just,
in
hey,
terms
just
of, you know,
next
getting
game.
most out of them
We'll
each
figure it out.
We haven't had that
What?
problem. I'm not saying we wouldn't have that problem going forward, but I would tell
This
you,
is my concern.
we haven't
It's either
had that
he is
issue.
this comfortable, which is
we
a
got a group
major
that shows
issue,
up, and again today we've
or
had
he's
2 lift
delusional.
groups today,
which is a
and
major
it's
issue.
pedal to the metal in there. They're ready to go.
Billy, you referenced your faith before, and at SEC Media Days, you quoted Hebrews, and faith is the assurance of things hoped for. What's allowing you to keep the faith in a time that's rough like this?
Well, I think we've done a ton of work. You know, we have a lot invested, and we've seen progress in certain areas. You know, we got to get some of these things figured out. You know, like there's parts of our team where what we did this offseason, I think, was successful. I think
I'm
the strength
disappointed in these
conditioning
questions.
program, the nutrition. I think special teams is a positive trend, right? So I think we've added some good young players. We've added some good portal players. the
Billy, that's the
detail and
impression
the
I crushed it,
execution
boys.
of the football,
Killed it.
that's where that punches me in the gut a little bit, right? So, and that's separate, that's separate. I think coaching is, it's a career, but more importantly, it is it's an opportunity, it's a platform, it's a way to impact people, it's purpose. That's what I would describe it as, right? But we're all
You think Billy
competitive,
watches his own
right?
film?
So I think we all want to win, and we want to produce a good product, right? So, yeah, that's where my energy is at. That's what I'm trying to get fixed.
So what did Taylor Spirito do I didn't be getting his name correct, I haven't seen much of him. And
Yeah.
He played a good bit the other day. What has he done to kind of elevate himself into the lineup?
Well, he just makes plays every day. That's what he does. He's done it. Players would call him Dirty 30. That's his nickname, right? So all he does is get open. He makes plays. He's been a good special teams player. He's well respected amongst the team. And he's bigger, faster, and more skilled than you would anticipate. He just does his job. So ultimately got a couple guys banged up, and he's been very consistent, productive in practice. It's not a day goes by out there. He just doesn't make one of these catches. The other day he caught a one-handed slant about 8 inches from the ground, So, I mean,
Is he talking about
guy does his
NCAA,
job.
the game,
So,
or is he like
he's
actual
one of these
practice?
guys that's earned a scholarship, and we're going to put the best ones out there.
We saw him during pro day. He was good then.
The best ones out there.
Good football
So
player.
Taylor Spirito, the walk-on, is better than 4-star Aiden Mizell, 4-star Tank Hawkins, 4-star TJ Abrams. Got it.
Those guys have kind of emerged and
Got it.
down 5-6.
A little bit of both.
Then you suck at
Yeah,
recruiting.
a little bit of both, just what we've observed
Got
through
it.
the first couple weeks, what we felt like was best for the team. Still a ton of competition, still trying to develop players, improve players.
No.
There's a handful of those guys that are
No.
still
We can't be
a
still
little
processing.
green,
You told me.
you
Oh, now we're green. We were the
so
most developed, most
practice
experienced,
matters,
best team you ever had.
Practice with the first and second group matters. That's where the offensive line develops. They don't
Not the
develop on
last
game day.
3 years.
They develop in the good-on-good environment in the practice setting.
But they're not.
Those are, if they're not a portal player that's ready-made, and they did that somewhere else, right? They gained experience and they practiced with the first and second unit somewhere else. Then if they came here as young players, they have to do that here. So I think some of those guys are a little green, and we just got to continue to give
3
them
people
reps
on your
and
line are
continue
from
to
the
give them
transfer
feedback.
portal.
This week, Trevor Roster 70,
74.
74. How much of the 74 do you know, hey, we're already going to take versus there's some spots, 5, 6, 10 spots that.
Yeah. Special teams will dictate the last dozen or so. Ultimately it's about what value
Ultimately,
they
there it
bring
is.
to the
there
team,
it is.
independent of
We should have done a
offense or
shot for
defense,
every
where
time
there's
he said
final few
ultimately
spots.
today.
It's
I
all
didn't hear it, but
who's a backup or who's a starter, how many phases. But, we could travel with less if we had to. But ultimately, I think it's a positive that we can take more players, especially in a portal era, right? So I think most coaches would say they take as many as you can.
Coach, talking about the play calling, you previously said that every part of your offense would be evaluated almost every day.
That's Cam.
Quality control. How would you evaluate the play calling aspect of your offense?
Yeah, I think
Cam got a question.
some
Cam
good,
Parker.
some bad. I think ultimately, to me, what I've observed on tape is more about execution. It's more about decision-making, fundamentals. I think that hasn't necessarily been the biggest issue.
How surprised you the run game hasn't gotten going a little more, and how much our team's kind of taken that away in the beginning from you guys?
Yeah. Hence my frustration. So we've got to do better in that area.
What frustration, Billy?
It's one of the things that makes the engine
You
go.
only just got here 2 days
We
ago.
have to do better. So some of that is, we got to look at what we do well. I think that's part of where we're at. How do we generate some of that? But yeah, I think you're spot on. That's one of the things that we've got to get going.
Oh, thank the Lord. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it. I have never been so disgusted in my entire life. I got a lot to go over. We got some super chats I got to read. I got some things I got to get off my chest. Oh, I'm sick. I'm going to be sick to my stomach. $20 from John Ford said, this is epic. I don't know when he sent this. Maybe it was before the presser. Maybe it was during the presser. I don't know. I was saying it was epic beforehand because we didn't know what was going to happen. But not quite so epic now. Jamari Ellis says $5. I feel like this is the same presser on repeat, pre-recorded. Billy just hates the pre-word, does the same thing. That's a great point. Outside the questions, you wouldn't know if it was a different presser. That's a solid point. $5 from Brian Brossi. He never says the word win, not in his vocabulary. That is true. Just get better, improve. $2 says Shelton turn this off. We're cooked. I know. I had to hear. I was hoping maybe I have too much hope still. Edward Diaz, $2. Boo this guy. Boo this guy stinks. I love it. $10. Everyone calling for Urban can pound sand. You'd be buying 1 to 2 good seasons for 15 years of trash again. I think the Urban was more of like a temp thing anyways, but he's not coming back. $2. Big Blue Horses says it's Groundhog Day. Lather, rinse, repeat, no end. It's what it feels like. It's disgusting right now where we're at, boys. $2. Give this man an extension. Go Dogs. That hurts. $2 from Jane Davis. He sent it twice, but no super chat. Thank you, James, for your $2. But you didn't say anything. Edward says again, $5 says delusional, dude. I am apathetic at this point. 8 months to be in hype for this bullshit. This guy's asking questions suck. Paid off to ask dumb questions. Questions really hurt my feelings too. $10. He doesn't even believe the bullshit coming from his mouth. Here's my thing. Let me read these last few super chats, and then I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. $5 says President F is my professor and was in the class 2 minutes ago, just ended. I don't know what that means, Rawhides. $5 says year 3 and still trying to figure out nutrition, strength and conditioning. Really boycott the remainder of the season. I mean, what do we have to do to get this thing flipped around? $5. Billy Napier has a voice of a casting director. Killing me. $2 says ultimately is my new catchphrase. I've been saying it too damn much because I've been poisoned by the well. I drew a graphic. Here's my concern with my graph that I drew. Why I had time while Billy was talking. So you see here, this is where the president is, right? Which has been Sass, who obviously stepped away. He's ultimately the guy I just said it. He's the guy that's on top. Ideally, how it should work out in my head, right? It's the boosters kind of function by themselves over here. They control things with their pockets, right? And then you've got the UAA, and Strickland, in a sense, should be in his own bubble. But clearly, these two are in bed with each other because this is ultimately now what control the decision. Because I don't know if this guy is going to have the kahunas to fire this bubble here. Now, this bubble, the booster bubble, I don't know how much power they're going to have. They have to come together. This is the money. This is the train right here that have to come together to influence this, ultimately this man's decision to affect this bubble, right? This is what has to happen, I think. Because I don't know if, again, this guy has to have the kahunas. I think he might be in bed with this a little bit too, from what we're hearing. That's my concern because here's the thing. Somebody asked a great question. It's like, look, that's the outside perspective. But how does this affect recruiting? If I'm a player on the team, I refuse to believe that this team is just cohesive, that they just walk in there and go, we're all in, Billy. I refuse to believe it. I believe Eugene Wilson's already quit on the team. I do, and I'm not like mad at him for doing that. I think he was like, yeah, I'm hurt and probably could play, but chose not to. I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm tired of running around getting absolutely walloped for no reason just to stand there and put my hands up in the air. I'm not doing this anymore. That's first. But if you're a player and you see, it's like the Browns organization, and you see that this thing is just ran like a complete dog water. The entire system is a joke. The fact that he walked out there and had that 40-minute, 30-minute presser of just nonsense, of just rambling about nothing, right? Just going on and on and on and on about it, as if they just lost a close one to Texas A&M, as if they just didn't get embarrassed basically for 2 of the first 3 weeks. It looks like they could be embarrassed for the rest of the season. Mississippi State, I mean, the fact that it's, if you lose to Mississippi State, he's over. It shouldn't get to that point. If that happens, we're at a new low. We're at a low that I didn't think we could get to. I don't know. If they are firing somebody to replace him, why would he be in the conversation? Just saying. If they are finding somebody to replace him, why would he be in the conversation? Well, I'm not sure what you're asking there, Cole. Oh, what did it say? What did I say? Slackman what? I don't know. I missed it. Did we get another super chat? Looks like we did. $10, my man Yale Beast. The pressure just made us 1-3. Literally, we're going 1-3 headed into Saturday at this point. $5 says Rawhide says Fucci's or whatever is one of my professors, bro, and was in class as of 2 minutes ago. Oh, he's the president, isn't he? What did he say? Rawhides? Is he watching the show? Let me message Cam. I don't know. I'm on Twitter right now. Everyone's screenshot my faces. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Shut my boy. When we inevitably fire Billy, you think we're going to have a shitload of kids transfer? I mean, probably. Yeah, like I said, we all want Billy to get fired, and I'm all in on that, but it's going to be ugly when it does happen. I mean, that's just how it's going to roll, right? I don't know. I'm numb, boys. I really am. I'm extremely frustrated with the situation. I'm more frustrated with the fact that we waited 20 minutes for the presser. Strickland was outside. Who knows how that conversation went? He comes out there and then just plays it off as if like, yeah, like we're good. I'm fine. Like, you guys, I don't know why you guys are panicking. Like complete. And I get the mindset of like, hey, you got to block out the outside noise. Hey, you got to block out the rat poison. Hey, you can't buy into the noise that's being said from everybody else. I understand that. And I get that mindset. That is when people overreact, right? Like when Georgia almost loses to Kentucky, there's going to be overreactions on that. Ignore that. When the Ducks were struggling week 1, week 2, people overreacted. You ignore those things. You fix it. You go back to it. You haven't lost any games. You didn't do what you needed to do. No big deal. When the team just has no heart and it looks like the way that it has for the last 2 out of the 3 weeks, and not even that for the last 3 years, you have to start listening. You can't just... The problem is it appears as if everybody in these bubbles here, and I said this earlier, that this bubble here and this underline here truly believe that they are the smartest people in the room. And there's nobody telling them no. So you have the UAA, you've got Strickland, and you've got Billy, and they're all in a circle just going, we love each other. Yeah, we're really good. We're doing fine. We know what we're doing. At what point, what are you judging to determine that everything is going to be okay? And I think Edgar asked, like, hey, were you promised some kind of basically guarantee? Like, we are going to give you to the end of your 3rd year. And if you have to win X amount of games to keep your job, because you're acting as if I'm still basically good to go. I know you guys are all panicking. Billy, this said Billy's talking. I know you guys are panicking and how things are, but I know in my contract that I'm locked in unless this happens. So I really don't care what you say, which is concerning. Kudos on him. But the fact is, he was straight up asked, have you had any conversations about your future here at Florida? And he said no. 2 problems. He either lied to us, which now your card of a good guy has dropped down, or you haven't had that conversation, which is extremely concerning and a bigger perspective. 2 major problems there. It was a lose-lose. His best answer said, I can't talk about that right now. That would have been his best answer. But he said it so confidently and so quickly, makes me believe that he was prepared for that question to tell the lie, or prepared because I know they're going to ask this and they're going to be pissed. But no, nobody said anything to me because I'm not going anywhere. Both frightened the hell out of me. They do. It's upsetting. It's disgusting. I don't have any words for it. 1,500 strong, and I'm lost for words. See if we can get to 1,000 likes though before I let you guys go. A couple more super chats in here. Let me go ahead and read them real fast. Sorry, guys. I was on a rant there. Florida man says, Tim Buck says, maybe Billy Ballsack has Strickland in the UA by the nuts, regardless one of the Rashada situations. You would think it'd be the other way around. I don't see those two being involved with that. The UA and Strickland being involved with that situation. Rawhide says he also teaches, I'm assuming economics, EE class. Kind of a legend. Lauren The Noise, $5 says, just like we see the same 6 plays on the game day, we hear the same 6 sound bites and presser. That's true. Same playbook. He executes his pressers a little bit better, I guess, huh? $5 from Landon. What's going on? What's going to happen is we're going to wait too long to get rid of Billy, and we're going to lose our recruiting class and current players to the portal. I think that's gonna happen. Just not even waiting too long. They're just gonna see like this isn't taken seriously. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. Napier's living in his own safe space. That's how it feels. That's how it feels. He's just literally operating in his own world. And look, I think there is a reason to do that. You should live like that. But there's also a point of like, maybe you should take a step back. Barber and Wingo are talking now and should be the last ones. Okay, so they were still going. So Cam is still there. So hopefully I'll know more in just a minute on that. We'll have a show tonight, obviously, with Steven Harris for Champs Corner. I imagine we'll have Cam on that one as well, too. It's lame for YouTube shows to push to fire coach after the second game. I totally agree, Louisiana Focus. If you knew that it was a third game, one. Secondly, this is just a dumb comment. I'm glad I read it, though. Engineering. Okay. I'm an idiot then. $5 says, Paul Fitzgerald, with a mass exit of transfers, how long of a leash do we give the next coach? I mean, look, I think it's got to be another 3-year cycle. I mean, honestly, you have to. Electrical engineering. Okay. You have to. But again, I guess it all just depends on what stays and what goes, right? If you're able to keep a lot of it and you can kind of maintain a recruiting class, but then I know what we're going to do. We're going to give this new guy the excuse, well, these are Billy's guys, right? And that's the thing. This is what I've always stated. I didn't want to start over because starting over is not fun. It's going to suck. It's going to be, you're going to have to expect 2 to 3 years. That's just inevitable. Like you have to. Because he's going to have to get his guys and have to do his things. Now, whoever we get in, they may be able to spark things up a little bit. If it is someone like a Lane Kiffin and they do have DJ Lagway, maybe it turns around a little bit faster. I don't think it's going to be the same kind of effect of the Zook to Urban because those Zook guys, they didn't have an opportunity to leave. Now you do. So those things have to be taken into consideration. $10 from Gator Wave says Billy never covered any spread at Louisiana during his coaching stint there. He's a loser. Wow, that's just again goes back to that dog mentality. You guys hate when I say it, but it just does not have that killer instinct. Never has had it. $5. You know, I'm already ready, man. Big thanks for about $5 for all heights. Electric engineering, my man. You're a smart guy. Can you tell him to go? Have you talked to him, the professor, Rawhides? Jeremy Scroggin says, look up Billy Napier and the Miracle on the Mountain. Okay, I'm going to have to do that. Well, boys and girls, we're an hour strong, and we are left with defeat. I didn't think Billy could rip my nuts out 3 times in a week, but he has. He did it on Saturday twice. How? I don't know, but he did. And then I got him put back in last night, and then he ripped him out again today. So that's cool. That's cool. This is what I don't get either. Stop delaying the inevitable. Like, that's what's concerning, right? It's like, okay, if he's still trotting out there, does that mean there's still a chance? I don't know anymore. $5 from Jeremy. Oh, I already read that. Sorry. It's scary. We are in a scary, scary place. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm not trying to be like, oh, he's just being a bad driver. I'm not. I don't want to be. Scare me, don't make money. Pay him to believe. Yeah, we need to use his own saying back on him. Got to empty the UAA too. Got to empty the whole damn thing. All right, boys, I appreciate y'all hopping in here, joining us for this hour-long presser. This was nuts. We were like 2,300, 2,600 strong at one point. Absolutely insanity. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Monday. Again, we'll be live later on tonight at 8 with Champs Corner, maybe Cam. It's going to be a good one. I'll see you boys. Peace and love, baby.